All right. What's going on, everybody? This is G Funky Boxing from HCP, and I'm joined here by the rest of the familia, man. We got Chicano Prophet, Style Boxing, and No Paul. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
¿Qué pasó?
What's up?
Basu. What's going on, guys? No
What's
Paul, you
up,
there?
family? Yeah, I'm here.
There-
What's up, familia?
There he is.
Man, no Paul's like that typical dude, bro. That typical Mexican shows up right on time, right when the carne asada is ready. You know what I mean? Like I thought you
That's
weren't a
it.
crumb, bro, but here's your plate. You know?
Yeah, no, it's because last minute I was doing some shopping, so I slid in, saved by the bell, bro.
Hey, that means he bought some beer. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Catch up. I've been
Yep,
drinking.
So I'm just gonna share. I'm gonna share this video to Twitter because there's a few people that said they wanted to watch some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. But you guys see the topic of the video. So this is going to be a very interesting, uncensored. Because this is some big things happen in boxing this week. And you know how we do it here, man. We don't shy away from anything, man. We don't, like the young kids say, we don't duck no smoke. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's talk about this, man. Now, I know D-Style, you've already talked about Wilder. Wilder came out this weekend just before the Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz fight. Kind of pulled a Floyd Mayweather move, you know what I'm saying? I remember Floyd used to do that when there was other pay-per-views or something going on, and then all of a sudden he would just come out with something, and that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Good point,
Yeah. So he pulled a little bit of a Floyd Mayweather move on us, but then he comes out and says some things about. He makes some strong accusations on a lot of people. Let's just kind of go down the list if we can. Ricky Hatton's one of them. Kenny Bayless, Mark Breland, Tyson Fury, the California State Athletic Commission, the Nevada State Athletic Commission. A lot of people were accused of certain things, and I've given my thoughts on this stuff months ago when it all kind of first came out. So here's what I'm going to do, because I got a lot of stuff I want to share about that. So No Paul and Chicano Prophet and D-Style, if you want to add anything else.
Well, let me say this. I've said a lot, so you guys have a lot catching up to do. So I'll kind of sit back for now, and we'll go from there.
All right, cool. Chicano, you want to roll first, man? Go ahead, man.
Sure. Well, I do think that this is an interesting topic. I don't think I've spoken too much publicly about it, but I kind of lean with you guys on most of these things. And I do think that, if there were two different ways of doing it, like in the first fight, we heard about like the loose gloves and the flicking jab. And then all of a sudden it was like an inside wrist of the glove. And then on the second one, there was a egg-shaped weight. So we have two different things going. So if that is the case, then I can only imagine how creative Wilder will be in the third fight to pull something else off. But I don't think he cheated that much. Like, that's my opinion. I feel like if Tyson Fury did use a flicking jab with this glove and it was a little loose, I think that's different than using the inside of your fist. And so that's what I have to say about that. And the conspiracy theorist in me has looked into this idea that it might be a marketing ploy. And I wanted to get your guys' take on that too. Like, there are some things that make me think that it could be a ploy to promote a fight later on down the line. One, the allegations that he made are liable. They could definitely get sued. They could sue Wilder for this, for the things that he said. And like you said, G-Funky, a lot of people have been implicated in this. On top of that, I do think that all the plans could fall through. If there was a fight planned, maybe a couple fights down the line, like there's a good chance that one of them could get knocked out or something could derail that. Another thing that I noticed is that Deontay Wilder never made any type of proposal for a fight. He just said, give me what I want. And this is one of the problems that I have with PPC not really having a lead man to speak to. I do know that Shelly Finkel has said things about this fight needing to happen, but when you don't have like a lead promoter, everything just kind of gets lost. Bob Arum can speak for Top Rank and Tyson Fury can speak for himself, but nobody's really speaking for Wilder but himself, and things still aren't clear. So I am interested to see how this will all play out. I think it's a shame that this has happened. I think it's a shame that Deontay Wilder took so long to say something, but it is interesting, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's to me, it's very unfortunate, man. What happened here this weekend with Deontay Wilder. Like I said, I'm gonna wait to give my thoughts because I got a lot to say about it. Nopal, you there, bro? You want to give your thoughts on
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I really think it's a disgraceful situation because, from the beginning, it's been excuse after excuse, and I wasn't like when I heard the first excuse, I really kind of thought, well, he has a point. Maybe the uniform was a little heavy, but at the same time, I mean, didn't he try it on before? And so I was just like, nah, it's just a stupid excuse. And then the rest of the excuses started, and it's been a while now, and just the it keeps getting worse. And I think basically he's realized that Tyson Fury is ready to move on to bigger things, and boxing as a whole is ready for him to move on too. We're really not too interested in a rematch anymore with Wilder, and what intrigues everybody is that undisputed. Basically, that's really what intrigues people. And I guess at the last minute he wanted to pull out and say something about it. Now, he embedded a bunch of stuff, and it's just like I said, it's a disgraceful situation. I think the worst part about it is the amount of channels trying to milk the situation, and they're trying to make money off of the situation. I just think it's very disgraceful.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part of it to me, well, I'll ask you guys this. What do you think is probably the worst part of this whole situation with these accusations? I mean, there's several out there, but real quickly, I'll go around the panel. What do you think is the worst out of all of them?
Well, for me, it's tarnishing the name of Kenny Bayless as well as two teams for each of Fury's fights. He had two different teams. A lot of people were implicated. So I think just going around tarnishing the name of these people, to me, that's been the most shameful thing that I've seen.
Look, man, are you asking in general what's the worst of everything?
Just
in the saga?
In your opinion, out of all the whole list of things.
The worst thing by far is the accusation that Mark Breland spiked his water with muscle relaxer.
Yeah. No, Paul, what do you think, man?
I think by far, for me personally, is the accusation to Mark Breland that he pulled whatever they're accusing him of, especially the part where he didn't want him to stop the fight. I mean, he's literally the reason why Deontay. There's a lot of people that say that the ref was just about to stop it anyway, but I mean, if the fight would have continued, I mean, he could have killed him basically. And I'm not gonna let you go down like that. I would never let anybody go down like that. And just the fact that he actually said, "Oh, anybody's crazy to me." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, man.
That facade, for that long, and even go to the extent where you're blaming it on Breland. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, you're breaking up a little bit there, but we could still, make out what you were saying. I just really can't believe that he would say something like his own trainer, who's been with him for over 10 years now, got him to where he's at, would say, "You spiked my water with a muscle relaxer." And I mean, that's
not to correct you, Chief Funky, with I believe.
Yeah, I believe.
Relaxer.
Yeah,
right.
That's thing I was going to touch on too, was listening to the interviews And what he's saying is, I hear a lot of I thinks and I believes, which is not, I mean, it's suspicion, but suspicion at the end of the day is not proof. Like you literally can't walk into a courtroom and say, I believe this person did this, or I think this person, like you. I mean, they would throw you out of court saying things like that. Like you have to provide real evidence of this stuff happening, and there just hasn't been any. If anything, he's just been almost regurgitating what's been on the internet. Um, and I really don't know where his head is at right now. I think that's the worst part of this whole thing is him accusing Mark Breland, because from what I've been seeing from people on social media, people in the sport, people that know Mark Breland for years have said there's no way Breland would do something like this. Like he's a good dude, like just about everybody has said that. It's very, very strange to hear these things from Wilder.
I have, and I know I've said a lot, but if you don't mind, I need to go over a couple things.
Go ahead, man.
Check it out, okay? Just to go frame by frame. Let's first cover the Mark Breland thing. So I have a lot to say about the gloves too, but we'll touch on that when we touch on it. But look, so you're telling me, let me get this straight, because from what I interpreted is the following, right? Mark Breland's the one that handled my water. I didn't feel so good at the start of the fight. Therefore, Mark Breland had to have been the one, right, that betrayed me and spiked my water with what I believe is a muscle relaxer. After 7 rounds of action where I clearly looked out of it, I'm going to revise history and pretend nobody's seen the fight and say that I was at the brink of coming back in that fight, but the referee stepped in right on time to stop it before I got to Fury. And so the ref is in on it. So apparently, I'm supposed to believe, right, that not only did Mark Breland spike the water, he let Kenny Bayless know about it and told him, hey, this should totally do it. But the moment you see Wilder snapping out of the muscle relaxer, you make sure you stop that fight, right? And they're supposed to expect that he's going to be against the ropes getting pummeled right before he's about to be at the brink of coming back. I mean, the stars will not only have to align, Zeus and Jupiter, the gods of the Romans and the Greeks, would have to help make that happen. Okay? That's number one. Now, let's say you believe, no, Batista, he believes it. He knows it was Breland's job to look out for the water that he is drinking. So if he didn't do it, then he's incompetent. He let a motherfucker sneak in and spike that motherfucking water, right? Which in itself is amazing. Okay, but let's say that that's the reason he's getting rid of him. And that plus he threw in the towel because he knew I was at the, not because he was trying to protect me. Not because the most rational explanation is, he's watching this pupil of his getting pummeled and he doesn't want to see him get hurt anymore. Whether you agree or disagree with what he did it out of mercy. And that's why he threw in the towel. No. He's got to be called a traitor and all types of shit, right? I'm supposed to just stand by and allow this innocent, what I believe is an innocent man, be called this, right? But regardless of that, let's say all that was true. So you fired him because of that. Yeah, but Jay Diaz is still in the team.
Right, and we're going to touch on that later.
Jay Diaz was there at the glove selection meeting. Jay Diaz has all right to grab the gloves, and so does Wilder, by the way. They can grab the gloves. They could put them on. They could tap on the top of it. That could already be done. That was Jay Diaz's job. And then they seal up those pair of gloves, and then the B pair, which is the backup pair, right? They'll seal those up as well, which have to be approved as well. And then the next day, those gloves are sitting on the table. And you get to look at them again, and you get to touch the wraps and all you want to do, and you could put on the glove again, and you could do all that good stuff, use all your five senses. And he was there the whole time when they wrapped the hands, when they put on the gloves. He was there.
Yep.
So if the glove thing is real, if that's the big thing, right? Why would you fire if you're gonna fire Mark Breland? Why is Jay Diaz still there? Why not Jay Diaz? And if there was a conspiracy, why wouldn't Jay Diaz be behind it? When he's the one inspecting all this stuff, that's his job. Why wouldn't he be, part of the conspiracy? Why is he let off the hook? Why is that? Well, why is Jay Diaz let off the hook if all this is true?
Yeah.
Why isn't Jay Diaz being aired out?
I agree 100%, man. If anybody was either in on it or was incompetent in doing their job, it was him and not Mark Breland, And look at this here, guys. Can you guys see that? I'm sure everybody can see that. I'm going to blow it up. But look, there he is right there. There's Fury right there getting his gloves put on. There's the glove inspector for the commission right there. There's Diaz right there.
JD's nuts is right there. All right? He's right there watching. Look at him watch.
I mean,
look at him.
If there's anybody that's in on this, it's him. But he's still around. That's the funny part. But let's just put that aside. Look at everybody's eyes are on the man's gloves getting put on. I mean, look, there's a photo of it. Like, guys, there's no way that he can sneak an egg weight in there or pull the padding. Like, that's just not the way it works.
The commission is right there, but yeah. I know the commission's in on it too, right? Everybody's in on it. Everybody.
Yeah, and that's really the sad part, man. Is that like I've spoken to experts. Like, I know people that work for commissions that are glove inspectors. I've listened to Ernie Gabion on Leave It in the Ring Network, who works for Everlast, speak on this. These are experts, guys.
Wilder wears, by the way, he wears Everlast. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes, these are experts, guys. Like, I'm sorry, I'm always going to listen to the experts before I listen to somebody else. And that's the one thing that's been missing from this whole thing. This entire time, not one expert has spoke on this on the conspiracy theorist side. Not one.
I need to comment on Rum PMC's comment. Diaz is, as Wilder locked in for a long-term contract, he is a co-manager. So?
He can be
so
gone.
What? I mean, he may still have to pay him. He may go to court or something. But if he totally just allowed an egg weight to be inserted into a glove, okay? If you allowed that, but by the way, that's the one you got to go with now. All the other theories are out the window, okay? The distribution of the padding and all that other stuff is out the window now. You got to go with the egg weight now, okay? We've narrowed this shit down. We've been asking, and in fairness, Wilder delivered to narrow down all the conspiracies. We used to have different versions of the conspiracy, but so Diaz is right there. The commission's watching. There's a camera there.
Yeah.
When did they slip the egg weight?
Yeah. I mean, you guys realize it would take some time to, after he's gloved up and taped up and the commission signs off on it, they'd have to take that glove off again, untie it, slip the egg weight in, and then put it back on, tape it back up, and have the commission re-sign again. Like, it can't happen, guys. Not on this level of fight. This is a huge fight. This is for the heavyweight championship of the world. Like, there's no way they would let something like that slip. And I know you guys have a hard time believing that, but trust me, man. Look at, even D-Style talked about the glove selection the day before. Like, go back and watch the videos of when Mayweather protested Maidana's gloves for their first fight. You can literally see all of them: Ellerby, Mayweather Sr., holding the gloves, putting the gloves on, hitting the gloves with their hand.
Already
right there.
been done. Nothing new. It's not something new. Oh, this time we're gonna do that. Like they could already do that.
Yeah, that's been in place ever since the Luis Resto thing. There's been a lot of emphasis on the rules of gloves and wrapping hands and things like that. This is very serious stuff here, man.
Mm-hmm.
These are serious accusations that Wilder is making, and if he cannot provide some kind of proof of this, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to him.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys hear Dwyer's video, man? He was almost licking his chops about how easily Wilder could get sued and all this. He said, you better take that back and quick before people start making money off you.
Look, a couple of things. Just a couple of things, because I already know a lot of the rebuttals, okay? The uniform, all right? He did mention the uniform. I understand that it could have been him in brainstorming reasons why maybe he didn't feel well, et cetera, et cetera. I get all that. However, in the eve of all that, I heard a lot of, not the eve, but the post, the aftermath of all that. I heard a lot of, oh, that's not an excuse, that's a reason, and all this other stuff, right? And then the goalpost got moved once they dropped that excuse, and it became, oh, the media just completely made it all up, right? Okay, no problem. Look, I don't need the uniform excuse. You know what I mean? That's whatever to me. Let's chalk that up, as maybe there was a mistranslation or whatever, right? Let's just, for the sake of for the sake of whatever, okay? I want to talk about The Sound of Silence, which is not just one of my favorite songs, but apparently what Wilder decided to do. When he's quiet, hey, that's the perfect thing to do. It's smart for Wilder to be quiet. When he talks, hey, he's talking at the perfect time. Whatever Wilder does, we're going to say that's the right thing to do no matter what, right? Yeah, that's not the way it works. When Fury's announcing another opponent, it's not the time to come out and talk. Like you know what I mean? I feel that he should have said something before. Like, yo, I want to fight you. Like he should have said that before. But now, when Fury's quote unquote quiet, all of a sudden it's something else. Right? Oh, that's suspicious that he's quiet. Why is he so quiet? And when he talks, oh, why is he talking like that? Why did he say that? So you have to understand that the behaviors of these fighters and when they talk or when they choose to speak is not any type of evidence of anything. I'm just putting that out there, and a lot of people show, in my opinion, a lot of bias and for one guy over the other, just depending on, and especially like a lot of Wilder guys just tend to really, whatever Wilder does by definition is the right thing to do at that moment, no matter what. And that's just not the way logic works. Okay. The picture frames, which is really what it is. I keep hearing the same thing over and over again. Hey, D-Style, if the picture looks like the padding is off, then God damn it, that's proof.
That's
and
it.
You're an idiot, and that's it. And I have a dude show up to my video saying that I'm an ignorant fool. Well, fuck you. If you're gonna be talking to me like that, then go fuck yourself. Okay? Yeah. Because let me tell you something. All right? Let me make this really, really clear. Okay? The picture exists, therefore it is. Doesn't mean anything. If there's a picture that has a shadow of a dragon, it doesn't mean that's an actual fucking dragon, unless it's me. Okay? If there's a picture that has that's a shadow of a T-Rex, it's clearly a T-Rex. Doesn't mean it's a T-Rex. Oh, no, but the shadow's not the same thing. This is the actual glove. Okay, what about all the frames where it clearly does not look like there's padding taken off of the glove? What about those pictures? Do those pictures not count? Like, how does it undo itself? Maybe that's the way the picture frame looks. Has that ever occurred to you? That just saying that's the evidence, therefore it is. Okay, if it is, and it is, then guess what? I have pictures of Charlo where his gloves look caved in.
Absolutely.
Where it looks like there's knuckle there. I'll use those motherfucking pictures. That's around. Hey, it looks like it's caved in there. If it is, then therefore it is in that case as well, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So like it can't be. I think therefore it is. That's not the way it works. All right. Like the gloves cannot look perfectly fine at the beginning of the fight, and after the fight, after he wins, okay, like that just logically you have to use your mind and you got to look at a full footage of this. Lastly, about the glove, right? Wilder spoke about his bloody ear, but when he was speaking about it, right, he showed a clip from the first fight with a quote unquote floppy glove hitting his ear. Well, that's
Right.
not the way it works. Your ear didn't bleed in the first fight, and you admitted that he didn't hurt you in the first fight before the second fight. You said he had feather fists, is what you said. Why, if his glove helps him and gives him power, wouldn't it have hurt you when he hit you in the ear in the first fight? Well, wouldn't that shot have hurt you? Logically, don't you stop and think about that?
Right.
Plus, why would he grab his trunks with his gloves if they were really all floppy? Also, why would he towel himself? Why would he point at the ref and say, hey, my glove is loose, pull it up? Why don't you point that out when he asked Reese to pull his glove back up? And you only mentioned when it appeared like Ricky Hatton was doing something with the glove. What about when he told Jack Reese, my glove is loose, and he pulled it back up? What about that? And you could point at anything you want about the glove. How did he grab his trunks and pull them up? You need to answer those questions.
I got the footage. Yep, and I got the footage. And we're going to get to that. And in New York, we can talk about that. We can address this after the topics, because I got some video clips here that I'm going to show. So we will definitely talk about the Margarito situation with Cotto. That's not an issue at all. So yeah, here's what I'm going to do, because you mentioned the floppy glove, right? And I wanted to speak on that because there's still people lingering on this floppy glove shit, okay? And they're telling me, we shouldn't see any tape. If his hand's all the way in the glove, there should be no tape at the top of the glove, right? Okay, that's cool. If that's your opinion on it, that's fine. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to end the whole thing right now, okay? Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make it full so everybody can see. This is the first fight, okay? Now, I want you guys to pay attention to Fury. Watch him grab his trunks at the 2-minute mark of this. You see the 2 minutes right there? 2 minutes and 3 seconds of round 5? Yes. Watch at 2 minutes. We will see him grab his trunks, and we will see tape at the top of the wrist, and the case is over at this point. Here we go. You see that? I seen the man grab his trunks, and look, I still see tape. Look at the tape on the wrist.
Yeah, but the tape isn't even out like a size of a fist anyway.
Right.
Like, do you guys not understand that if you make a fist, it's about halfway the size of your wrist?
I mean, look, I see tape. I see tape all through here on the wrist. Look at his glove. It's closed right now. How is it closed? How?
Hey, everybody, let's do a little experiment right now. Make a fist, okay? And look at your forearm, all right? Get your thumb at the end, like at the bottom of your fist, and put your index finger at the top of your knuckles, okay? Now keep your fingers like that and put them against your wrists. That's almost half your fucking wrist. That's how much tape would have to be showing.
Right. And look at
you not understand that.
Again, I want to point to the tape, because this is hardcore evidence to some people out there. I see tape. Yes, I see tape. No doubt about it. But what else I see here? Look at that. Did you see what he just did? Pulled the shorts up, and look at the fist is balled up.
You know what it is, Chief Funky? He used the egg weight to do that. You know that.
There was a string there. There's strings there, guys. Okay, man, there's a string there, and yeah, there's a string, and they pulled the shorts up. Look at that tape right there. One more time, and then I'm going to be done with the first fight. Did you see that? Come on, guys. You guys have to address this. Okay, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can tell anybody here on the internet what I said. It's over. It's done. It's done.
How did you make a fist like that, by the way? How does he make that fist if his hand is like inside the wrist area and the fingers are not inside where they belong? How's that even
Right.
possible?
It's not.
Like,
It's in,
explain me the mechanics of that. Unless Fury knows like this voodoo magic that I don't know about, where he could make a glove close while his fingers being in there, right? Then I don't know what to tell you.
yeah. To me, it's a wrap. The floppy glove, done. We just killed it right now.
And I need to address this from some comments that just aren't true. Okay, Dante's Boxing Nation said that the palm area needs to be covered by wrap. That's not true.
Yes, false
Okay,
as can be.
that's completely false, and it's not true. You guys got to call people out when they say things that are not true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's completely false.
Completely
and not
false.
true whatsoever.
I mean, Dante's a big Mayweather fan. Do you guys want me to go to some pictures of Mayweather after a fight and see his palm exposed after the fight?
Yes.
They take the gloves off. Like,
And
you guys want me to do that?
and like the multiple. Okay, and you could see the crease of the palm. You could say that's a fist if you want, like, and all that, but that's not what it is.
Exactly. So now let's get to the second fight. Okay, I'm going to show you guys here a clip. Let me.
Plus, and not to interrupt you, Chief Funky, but what did you see the egg weight?
Yeah.
In that hole? Well, what did you see the egg weight there?
Absolutely. And I'm going to show you guys right now, okay? Because these guys found one picture out of the whole fight that looks like there's padding removed, okay, from the glove. And Wilder actually used that picture in his video that he came out with this weekend.
Right.
So we're gonna address
but
that.
I thought it was the egg weight. I thought it was the other
it's loaded gloves, it's egg weights, it's poison, it's removed padding, it's all this stuff. But
yeah, it's whatever was already packaged for him.
Exactly. So look, I'm gonna show you guys small clips of Fury's gloves before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight. And you tell me where you see his gloves looking anything like those pictures that you've seen, or at least that one picture where he's grabbing Wilder's bicep with the glove and it looks like there's
I already know what happened to Funky. See what happened? The fight started, right? But the fight happened an hour before we actually watched it, okay? And what they did was they completely cheated Wilder, but they went back and refilmed it with a Wilder double, okay? And they made it seem like he still had the padding in other parts of the fight and at the end. That's what happened, right?
I guess so. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, okay? Because I really want to just be done with this at this point. It's really just insane and ridiculous, the things that are going on with this whole thing. Okay, you guys can see that. I'm going to this up so everybody can see it. Okay, we should be zoomed in pretty good now. Here we go. Guys, what do we see here?
Gloves that haven't been that. I mean, look, bro, perfectly fine gloves. What it looks like to me. The same ones that Diaz inspected and Watson put on too, by the way. Right.
Exactly. I mean, guys, I don't see any padding removed here. This is just, look, he's in the ring. He's got his robe on. He's got his cape and his crown, right? He just got in the ring.
I don't know, G Funky. The one on the left looks encaved, or is that lighting?
Right. I mean, guys, you guys have to address this, okay? You can't avoid this. You want to run with one picture that looks like something's wrong with the gloves. We can do that with every single fight. Trust me, if we wanted to. Okay. What I'm doing here is I'm showing you guys video evidence in real time. And look, you can see this is me recording my television. So I'm not fooling with this video. I didn't edit it, nothing like that. This is just straight up my camera on the TV while I'm watching this fight, and we see nothing wrong with the gloves.
But maybe they took it off, even though there was cameras on them and thousands of people in attendance and the commission, right? You know, plus the broadcasting team. Even though all those people were there, maybe G-Funk, maybe they took it off during the fight. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's a possibility.
So, hey, benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a possibility of
I
that.
wonder how the gloves looked like when the fight was over. I mean, maybe they looked all floppy and like those complete padding missing, you know?
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next one now. Just a few more, guys, and then we're done with this. Because honestly, I don't even want to talk about this ever again unless Deontay Wilder does legal action. That lets me know that these claims are real. Until then, it's not real to me. Okay, so here we go. Here's the third round where the knockdown happens. Right? Look at that.
Yeah.
Does that glove right there look like it's tampered with or something?
Mm.
Glove looks perfectly fine. This is round 3. And look, you could tell again. You could tell that I didn't mess with this video because look at that. You can see the little thing from the telecast right there. Like look at that.
Actually, fun. You went and edited a whole fight and make it look like the gloves were good.
Guys, you have to address this, man. And again, I guess I don't care who says this or that. Okay, you can tell Dante's boxing age. You can tell fucking Eagles boxing world or whatever the fuck. Okay, show them this. Address this, man. Address it.
They don't want they know this, bro. You don't think they know this? Come on.
I'm sure they do.
They're just gonna, if you go to Ego and show him this, Ego's just gonna block you or something. It's not gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah. Oh yeah. He loves doing
But
that.
like at the end of the day, like I just
Yeah, he'll just
here's what I want, bro. And one of the reasons I started talking about this was I don't appreciate being called ignorant, all this other shit. And, oh, I have evidence, and like you insult my intelligence by showing me shit that is not evidence.
Exactly.
Okay? Like if you want to play, I could do this all day. You know what I mean? I could use logic with it all fucking day. Like at the end of the day, but like we're gonna stick to the egg weight because that's what he decided to roll with, right?
Yep.
Where's
So
the egg weight? Like I need proof of the egg weight in the glove.
here's the end of the fight, guys. I mean, what's
Where
wrong with that glove?
the gloves look fine.
What's wrong with that
Where
glove?
I just want to know, hypothetically, was he holding the egg weight the way people work out, where it's inside the fist in the palm area?
Look at that.
Is that
Nothing
where
wrong
the
with
egg
that
weight
glove.
was?
Yeah, I get. I mean, I don't. Yeah, they don't even know where he could possibly
No,
hide
the reason
it.
I'm saying is, you funky, because here's the next thing I wanted to touch on. I know you wanted to end this, but I gotta address this. Okay. Okay. Cyborg Santos, not to be confused with the Cyborg, the female fighter, but her ex-husband, who they derived that name from. Okay, he got kneed in the forehead, right? Legal shot and everything, but he got kneed in the forehead, right? And he got completely like fucking his forehead caved in. Okay, that was a real dent. Bone breaks, it doesn't dent. Okay,
Exactly.
especially in the skull. That's number one. They had to shave his head. Fucking dude, yeah, he has a whole scar on the dome of his head because they had to remove the skin in order to repair that quote unquote encaved part of the skull. And they showed x-rays of it and everything, and you could clearly see it was encaved when it happened, bro. All right? So it doesn't just happen on its own. I see no scars on Deontay Wilder that some procedure was done to get rid of an encaved part on the side of his head. Apparently, the dent went away on its own. Did it just disappear on its own? Well, what is this? Did he go to the Philippines too? Was the salt water and undented? Like, what do you mean it undented itself?
Right. And
But
look at
he's
this.
saying, but the reason I'm saying this, okay, is because he's saying that the proof that he had an egg weight is because the side of his head is shaped as, even though it's not, by the way, but let's say it is. It's shaped like an egg weight, right? Then how did Fury land that punch? How did he cause that dent with an egg weight? At what
Right.
point did that happen? And not only that, if there's one dent, why would there only be one dent? If he had a blunt metal object, but let me cook on this really quick. I'm about to finish. If there's a metal object in his hand and he's denting a fucking skull, why is there only one dent? Why is there any more obvious, like, blunt force trauma from, a metal object like that is what I want to know. You know what I mean? I think that's a very fair question that needs to be answered. Because, gee, Funky, if I swung at you with a hammer 100 times, is there only going to be one piece of evidence that you got hit with a hammer?
No.
Like we got to think about that. Like, this is like real shit. Like I would like somebody to put an egg weight in their glove, right? And just hit something. You know what I mean? Like, get a piece of sheetrock or something and swing at it and see how much evidence you see that there's an egg weight, and see how similar, if you keep hitting it the same way, how similar the damage on the sheetrock would be. So that's all I got to say about that.
Guys, look at this. Go ahead, Chicano, but I just want to say this. I don't give a fuck who you tell. Okay? This is the end of the fight. The fight is over right here after that right hand. There's nothing wrong with that glove. Nothing. You guys can't avoid this, man. It's done. It's over. Let's just leave the shit alone, please. Go ahead, Chicano.
Yeah, can you play it just one more time for me?
Sure.
Thanks, man. I thought I saw something. Let me see.
I see a man getting ready to get finished. Is what I see. It's just a few seconds.
That's it. That's all I need. Dude, is it just me, or is Wilder starting to come on right there?
Okay, I saw what you did there, Chicano.
Man, he took
trying to lighten the mood, man.
It's
such a heavy subject. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that glove there, man. I'm sorry. Okay.
Look, man, I just want to say one more thing. Okay. Do I believe Gervonta Davis cheated in the fight with the gloves? No. However, let me just tell you this, man. If Fury switched out the gloves like that, okay, and then there was footage of Fury wearing one pair of gloves when Diaz is there, and then another pair of gloves when he's in the ring, the outrage would have been immense, okay? And I would be here saying, hey, guys, that's perfectly normal. Like, they have a backup pair. Nah, how could he possibly believe he's a cheater and on this and that? Like, a lot of people that talked about it, they don't really believe, I don't believe that Gervonta Davis cheated, okay? They're just pointing out the irony. That's all they're doing. You know what I mean? They're trying to kind of open your eyes. Like, how does it feel when they accuse, Gervonta Davis of cheating like that? You know what I mean? Guys, oh, my God, that's an encaved glove.
Look at that. I mean, you guys want to play this game? I mean, we could do this. I'm telling you, we could do this with every single fight.
What fight was that? Well, what fight? Who did he punch with that encaved glove?
This was the Tony Harrison fight.
Wow. Tony Harrison should totally,
Hey, I mean, what should Tony Harrison do? Should he protest? Should he go to the internet and make all kinds of videos about this?
Now I'll say this. Because I know we all want to move on. Let me just say this. No, I don't believe that Charlo cheated. I'm just putting that out there. We're pointing out how you cannot just use shit like this as quote-unquote evidence, is what we're saying.
Absolutely, because it's just not evidence, man. It's not. And damn it, I'm going to say this before I'm going to stop sharing right now on my screen, but guys, he can't make these kind of accusations without some real proof, man. There's serious consequences to these things. Very serious consequences, man. He has zero proof that Breland spiked his water. Zero proof that Fury put an egg weight in his fucking glove. Like, he's really doing some serious damage to his reputation and to his career at this point, man. And it's fucking sad, dude, because I really like Wilder. But you know what? After these accusations, man, like, I lost a lot of respect for him, especially with the Breland thing. That's just horrible, man. to accuse the man that could have possibly saved you from suffering more damage. I mean, yes, I mean, I know people have said this, okay? They said, yeah, the trainer, I've told my trainer, don't throw in the towel. I'll die in that ring. Look, dude, nobody wants to die in the ring. Period. Okay? And think about it like this. If you're the trainer and your fighter told you, look, man, don't you dare throw in this towel or I'll fire you if it looks like I'm getting ready to get knocked out or whatever, right? What if the guy does suffer bad injuries and he's in a wheelchair the rest of his life, or he dies? Like, that's going to be on you. That's going to be on your conscience the rest of your life.
Yes, and not only that, G Funky, it's not a good look for boxing if one of our athletes is dying, okay, in a high profile fight. Like, we appreciate that you're willing to die, but we're not gonna just let you die in the ring, okay? Like you know what I mean?
And who's gonna know you said that? When the fight is over and the reports come out that he passed away due to injuries in the fight, what are you gonna say? You're gonna come out and say, well, he told me not to throw in the towel, so I didn't throw in the towel. Like, who the fuck's gonna believe you? Everybody's gonna blame you. That's gonna be on your hands. Stop that shit. I know you guys are fanatics and you think Wilder walks on water, he can beat up Superman and the Hulk in the same day. Okay, no. Nobody wants that shit on their hands, okay? Period. Anyway, moving on. I'm done with it, man. Unless he goes to court, that's it, man. I don't want to talk about it no more.
But let me just say this, guys. Look, we gave our opinion on it, okay? If I'm doing a show on HCP and the word Tyson Fury is spoken or the word Deontay Wilder is spoken, I'm not just going to be talking about this. You know what I mean? But if you bring it up, okay, if you don't like what you're hearing, just don't fucking bring it up, okay? Because then you're going to hear it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
And if you do bring it up, I'm just going to refer you to this video and my other Glovegate video that I made.
Because we want to move on because, like I said in my this isn't boxing. You know what I mean?
No, it is not.
And we're the home of real boxing talk. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. So
for a lot of these, a lot of guys that love Wilder. Look, let me tell you guys something, man. I'm a fan of Wilder too. It just doesn't mean that I got to agree automatically with what he says. So.
Exactly. So we're going to move on to the next topic because I think it's a good topic, a great topic.
Anyway, moving on.
We got an announcement from Team Canelo and Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, came out today. Well, I don't know if it was today, but came out recently and said, so we're going to move on to the Charlo must happen in 2021.
I knew you had a great though.
What's going on? I'm gonna fall back. Let me just fall back for a moment.
Yes.
And I'm gonna let my little homies here, like Tupac said, take care of this shit. Okay. Look, I'm just gonna fall back, and I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna fall back. All right. I'm gonna let the Canelo cartel handle this shit. All right.
Absolutely. You guys don't understand what's going on here, man. HCP, we got the Canelo cartel ready to roll, man. And this has been a big topic out there, man. People have been saying things like Canelo's been ducking Charlo for years. He ain't want no smoke. So, you guys, go ahead. Burn.
Thank you very much, fellas. But first, I think I'd like to put a little disclaimer out there. Now, first, I'd like to say, ain't nothing wrong with liking Jamal Charlo. I like Jamal Charlo, but I do think you should think twice before continuing on listening to this if you are a member of a Charlo cult. Now, if you aren't sure if you're in a cult, I get it. Because a cult leader never says, yes, we're in a cult, everyone. But you can see the signs. The leader's authority can't be questioned. Everyone's agreeing with each other, always, no matter what. And the guys at the top, they know they're peddling bullshit. So I developed a quick little test for you to know if you've been brainwashed by a Charlo cult leader. If you, as an adult, have let somebody convince you that a 100,000 pay-per-view buy event is a box office bonanza, well, my friend, I'm afraid you've been drinking the Canelo haterade. But hey, if you like that flavor and your leaders got your mind right on how to ignore Jamal Charlo's shitty career, then I think you should leave now. But if you're going to stick around and listen, I just recommend that you do it in private, because I'm sure you aren't allowed to listen to any outside material. That kind of shit might get you shunned, okay? But I do want you to know the Canelo cartel is out here for you. We're here for you. We're going to be creating support groups for those who have fled the cult. And we're trying to move fast, since we know that we're going to have a ton of escapees once Canelo knocks Jamal Charlo the fuck out. Let's get it going.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. And you know what? I don't blame these guys, man, because there's been people out there with some serious rah-rah going on with Charlo, okay? Now that this news comes out, I'm starting to see guys change the tone just a little bit. All right? Just a little bit. And I'm going to tell you like this, man. Yes, G Funky has been very critical of Canelo, all right? I want the best for him. When he does things I don't like, I'm going to speak out on it. That goes for anybody, not just him, okay? But when I said, if this fight ever happens, I've always said, I think Canelo beats him flat out, and I'm not moving off my square, okay? But some of you guys out there that were doing a lot of talking, that tone has sure changed, man. No Paul. You ready? Uh-oh. I think Taco Bell's kicking in.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead, man.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is not a big surprise what I heard. I enjoy these little videos when they come out. But I mean, before that, I saw other videos where it showed the trainer saying, "Man, it's easy work," those two fights. But what I love about this fight is, he gets to beat Charlo, and I'm not gonna say that he's gonna beat him, but I think he will. You know what I mean? I think he will. But I mean, there's other people that for sure think that Charlo could beat Canelo. But I mean, the great thing about this fight is that if Canelo beats Charlo, he gets to fight his little brother too, and you never know. Maybe the little brother has more skills than Jamal. Maybe Jamal has more skills and he gets to avenge his brother's loss. There's so many possibilities with this fight. And, it's just all together. It's a beautiful fight that'll bring the fight fans together. And, we've been talking about this fight for like 3 years. You got your people saying that Canelo's avoiding Charlo and, vice versa. Recently we've had an influx of people saying that, it's the other way around, and, some evidence is circulated. But like, we know boxing is mostly about politics, that holds up fights from happening. It's not like back in the day when you had, all these promoters that just wanted the best fights. And, all I got to say is, it's a beautiful fight, and, hopefully we get to see it in about a year and a half or two,
Hey, let me say something, man. It wouldn't be the first time Canelo beat a pair of brothers. I mean, he beat Jose Cotto and Miguel Cotto. You know what I mean? Like the bigger brother tried to step up and like, hey, you beat up my brother, bro. I'm coming after you. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? It wouldn't be the first time. Okay, and then he beat Matthew Haddon, and if Ricky hadn't wanted that smoke, he would have gotten it too. Okay, so at the end of the day, he's like a body snatcher of brothers. You know what I mean? That's what Canelo is. Let me tell you something. Now, I'm not as hardcore as the Canelo cartel. I'm not. Okay? I've had my beef with them too, so it's all good. Right? They haven't put me in the hot seat yet, but it's all right. Okay? But see it out. Okay? You can't come out like Jamal finally fights like a real dude at 160. Everybody knows that Canelo's in the middle of litigation with his own. Right? And then all I'm hearing is, Canelo's running. He's ducking and dodging from Jermell Charlo. Like, what are you talking about, dude? That's the craziest thing I ever heard. Okay? Like, yes, I get the franchise thing, and I understand. I'm probably gonna have a disagreement with the Canelo cartel when it comes to the franchise thing. I don't know. But here's what I could tell you. Okay? All D-Stock could tell you, all right? Watch out for the wrath of the Canelo cartel because they're coming to get you. Okay, and don't come to me. Hey, these style, but why are you letting the Canelo cartel say this and that? I ain't their keeper. I ain't gonna tell them what to say or what not to say or how to do it and what to do. You know what I mean? So be careful with the Canelo cartel. You know what I mean? Like they're coming to get you. I'm just saying, right? They're studying you. They're studying your moves. They got counters for you, like you know how Canelo, how he counters, and stuff like that. You know how he feints the body and then boom gets that uppercut down the middle. That's how they do with the arguments when it comes to Canelo. Like, you know what I mean? Even me, I'm like a little wary now. Like every time I'm gonna criticize Canelo, I gotta step back and be like, okay, if I say this, the Canelo cartel is gonna be like, oh, well, what about this? So I gotta be like a step ahead. I gotta think a little bit now whenever I'm gonna say something. Okay, but in all seriousness, let me say this. Okay, Canelo beats Jamal. Like, and that's not saying that I think Jamal's trash or anything like that, but man, I'm hearing a lot of smack talk out there. I'm hearing, oh, Canelo. I'm hearing a lot of like accusations that he doesn't want to fight Jamal. That's all I'm hearing. But really, if again, do we really need to compare their opponents to 2019? Is that necessary, or can we move on? You know what I mean? Can we just say that it's just fair? Should we compare their opponents to 2018? How about 2017, 2016, 2015? Do we need to compare the opponents? Okay. So all I'm saying is it appears like Canelo is a lot older, but he's actually a couple months younger than the Charlos. They have a lot of catching up to do. Okay. You cannot live vicariously through Canelo. All right. If you're going to stay at 160, Canelo doesn't really have an obligation to really go down to 160 to fight you, regardless of what the WBC says about the franchise thing. If he doesn't want to fight there anymore, he's moved on, I've always heard, and I heard Haney's dad say this, we don't move down. We don't move down. We keep moving up. So Canelo's moving up in weight class. You know what I mean? He's fighting bigger, stronger men is what he's doing, right? He's got a lot of smoke to clear out at 168. But even with all that said, his trainer's still saying, what's that I see over there? Are those smoke signals? Shit. Okay, this motherfucker started a whole pit fire, all right? He started a pit fire, not just smoke, a pit full of fire. Okay, Reynoso ain't playing around. He's like, okay, shit, yeah, we can do the fight. What do you guys think he was going to say? What do you think he was going to say? Oh, no, we don't want to fight him. We're scared of him. Is that what you think he was going to say? Hell nah, okay? Reynoso wants that smoke. I'm sure Canelo will fight him, okay? Look, Jamal did good against Deverenchenko. Hey, let's give him a round of applause. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You know who else beat him? He's been beat twice already. Okay. And you know who beat those guys? Canelo did. Okay. So congratulations. You won a divisional playoff game. Okay. Are you sure you're ready for the Super Bowl? We will see.
Man, I lost some subscribers on this one. Hey, man, look. That's why this is the home of real boxing talk, man. We don't put feelings, we don't put emotions into it. All right, we keep the shit 100% boxing here, okay? And let me tell you guys something about the Canelo cartel. All right, these guys are sharp. I mean, they're razor sharp, and they keep a lot of receipts, boy. Let me tell you, these guys. Look, Chicano Prophet again. He put me on the hot seat, man. And did I duck the smoke? Absolutely not, man. I sat there. I let him grill me, and hey. It's all good, man. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, you guys out there that have been saying so much shit about Canelo being afraid, being scared, he didn't want no smoke with Charlo. As soon as we hear any kind of talk from Team Canelo say, we want that fight next year. Let
me say this, man.
Exactly.
I need to say this. This needs to be said, okay? I find it funny how, like, I don't get all mad. Let me tell you something. I'm subscribed to guys with titles like, oh, Canelo gets clowned by so-and-so, and Canelo's ducking, and, Canelo's scared, and, like, all this shit. Like, look, man, if you can dish it, You just have to learn to take it. Okay? This goes out to everybody out there. You can't just be dishing it, and then when you get it in return, like unsub and, oh, I don't know, or fuck that bullshit. Okay? We're real boxing fans over here. We're just talking boxing, giving our opinion. Okay? And if it's to that point where, oh, I don't like what he said about this, or I don't know about that, and this, that, and the third, like, nah. If you you know, a lot of you guys, man, you come out, you dish it out every fucking day. Okay? Like, seriously, I don't get all mad. I don't get all into my feelings and shit and unsub from people. I just, I say, hey, I disagree with what this guy has to say. But when I come on my channel, okay, or somebody on my channel, or Chief Funky on his channel, or anybody on this channel says something you don't like, man, you can't just be unsubbing like that. Like, if that's the case, I want you to unsub. Okay? If you're that sensitive, please unsub. Okay? If you're gonna be dishing shit out, you gotta take it. All right? It's just the way it is. Right? It's a two-way street on this motherfucker. Right? That's all I gotta say.
That's right, man. And I mean, if you coming here and hearing something that you don't like on just one topic makes you want to unsubscribe, then you know what? Hey, good riddance, because you know what you are? You're a big fat pussy. That's what you are, okay? If you can't take somebody else's opinion, all right? I'm sorry. I just don't want people like that. I mean, look, we're not taking personal attacks at these guys. We're talking about the fight. We're talking about the fight here. There should be no reason for anybody to unsub. But I get it. There's a lot of sensitive people out there. You know, I get it, man. We're living in a time where, you say any little thing and people can take it to outer space, give a motherfucker a rope. They want to be a cowboy. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing, man.
This, man. Like I ain't sweating here. You come out here and be like, man, I don't know what you motherfucker talking about. Charlo's gonna knock Canelo the fuck out. And guess what? I would disagree with you, but it's all good in the hood here. Like, you know what I mean? Let's do it. Okay? All day, every day. All right? Like,
absolutely.
If you're gonna dish it, okay, you gotta learn how to take it. Okay? This whole I'm gonna unsub, this cancel culture shit, man, the hell with that bullshit. Okay? We're all boxing fans here, bro. And here, especially on Uncensored, it's raw. Okay, and it's intense as it fucking gets. You just have to learn how to take other people's opinions. Okay, you got some of you out there in the boxing world, okay, on social media, need to step out of your bubbles and just listen to other perspectives. Let me give you a little bit of advice. Okay, you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying or anybody else on this panel is saying. Okay, but if you listen to other perspectives, even if you don't agree, you know what that does? Iron sharpens iron, man. That's what it does. You'll be able to make formulate your arguments a little better. Okay? That you know what I mean? Like, you have to learn how to take it, man. A lot of you guys out there, like, you hear what you want to hear all day, and then you come on G Funk's channel or anybody else's channel, and you hear something you don't like. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna unsub. And like, nah, bro. That's some sensitive shit. That's some vieja shit. To be honest,
right. A lot of them out here, man. And let me tell you guys something. The
I
Canelo
don't talk
cartel.
with Laura anymore. Well, why don't you talk to Laura no more? Because she's such a bitch. Anyway,
let me tell you guys something, man. This is how we roll over here in HCP, and this is how this is the home of real boxing talk. All right, these two guys right here, Nopal and Chicano. These guys, you think they like the videos that I made about Canelo, where I criticized him? You think they like that? No, they didn't like it. But did they go running? No. So, I mean, you guys, at the end of the day, you guys got to learn, man. All right, grow some fucking balls, okay? We're just talking boxing here. It's not a big deal, all right? You guys go ahead. Chicano, you anything you want to say?
This isn't the show to chill out. Black and brown. We do the opposite on the show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. I'm just continuing to enjoy this time until the fight actually happens. It's like you guys are saying. People are starting to backtrack already. And it doesn't surprise me. And here at the Canelo Cartel, we have nothing but full confidence as to what's going to happen. And I think deep down, you guys have all known it too. And another thing that I've noticed too is, man, a lot of people are starting to backtrack on criticizing Canelo's resume. And we all know why. Like, last time I was on Uncensored, I dispelled this idea that Canelo fights all these older fighters when you compare him to Jamal. I did that and I thrashed that argument. I didn't even have to mention that Jamal Charlo's first title was at 154 against a 42-year-old Cornelius Bundridge. Didn't even have to mention it. I didn't even have to mention the fact that if you average their opponents' ages, that on average, Charlo's opponents are 1 year older than Canelo's opponents. Didn't even have to mention that. That's something else that I want to talk about. There's another idea, this whole idea that, well, Canelo doesn't take on black fighters. I don't know what the hell that's all about. One thing I hear from people is they go, well, that was a long time ago. Even though Danny Jacobs was like 2 fights ago. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get it. And then, you don't, yeah, you don't get a real response from them. But it was 2 fights ago. Wasn't that long ago. It was recent. And so, I can put up 5 opponents from Canelo's resume, and it's impressive. 5 black opponents, that's impressive. We're talking about one of the greatest of the generation, right? And other ones who are reigning defending champions, undefeated people. And so I've been trying to put together a list for Charlo's top 5 opponents. And, I'll tell you, after J-Rock, which was kind of a nice win, and after Trout, even though he was Canelo's leftovers, Lara's leftovers, and went on to take consecutive losses afterwards, I got to put Cornelius Bundridge on there. Brandon Nobody Adams. And, well, you guys are going to have to help me out because, anybody else I put on there might be kind of embarrassing. And, I'm not trying to humiliate Jamal Charlo. If you guys want to take a look at it, I mean, think about it. How many people out there in boxing today have fought better black fighters? A top 5. You could make an argument that Pacquiao has if you want to times Bradley by 3. You can make an argument that Kovalev might have if you times Ward by 2. And you can also make an argument that Sean Porter might have fought better opposition. But besides that, dude, probably crickets. So let's get real. All these perspectives, they're tired. It's really just coming from haters. And now that you guys actually want to start comparing resumes, we can go over any subject you want. Jamal Charlo, his resume has been garbage. All you have to do is go back and look at the previous videos. It's all there. And if you want to talk to me, we can have that conversation as well.
And not only that, Canelo also, isn't he the one that started the sporty poncho? Isn't he the one that started that shit?
I mean, I think he might have. I don't know if I've seen that before, man. But, I mean, he's a trendsetter.
That's right.
Man, Chicano just burned the house down. And let me tell you guys, that's just a piece. That's just a piece of what these guys got, man. I'm telling you. You guys, you got to be prepared. You got to be ready. You better have that fucking bulletproof vest on when you step into the ring with the Canelo cartel. Nopal, you got anything, brother?
Yeah, I got something. I just wanted to say, I mean, there's been a history of trying to down talk Canelo's resume, and I remember the whole Triple G saga. I mean, people were giving Triple G props for fighting all the top 10 guys. Oh, he's fighting, this guy. He's fighting this guy. He's fighting this guy. And you know what I mean? Even like you'd go to the Spanish websites and you see all these guys saying, "Hey, man, the guy, he's amazing. He's fighting all the, all the best guys at 160. His whole run is historical." Nope, it was really trash, bro. I would like to say that even at 154, Canelo already had done way more work than Triple G in his whole career up to the point where they had fought. He had a better run at 154 than Triple G. And then once he got to 160 and beat Cotto for that lineal title, I mean, damn, the thing was sealed. And, people were still calling Canelo, his resume's weak, all this and that. I mean, it got to the point where, if you analyze it, it's almost like they're paying people to talk bad about Canelo just so they can build these fights. Amazing part is that, you go to ESPN Deportes and all that, and all these guys are supposedly, it reminds me of another group of guys, like these guys are supposedly like, well, no, he hasn't done nothing, all this, and, really surprising.
Were you done, Paul? Is that the Wi-Fi?
Might be Taco Bell, man. We got to get you on that
What do you
Starbucks
mean?
plan, bro.
Man, like Canelo needs to hook these dudes up with Wi-Fi, bro. Especially no Paul.
Yeah, these guys are her biggest supporters, man. Canelo, come on, man. Let's hook these guys up. Okay.
What's going on with that? Like, what's going on with that? Well, why can't he get you some good Wi-Fi, bro? Like, what's going on?
But before we move on to the next topic, because it's a good one.
You know, it cuts.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. G-Funk,
Yeah,
I just, I wanted to ask you guys'
yeah,
perspective on
but,
something here when we got a chance before we change the subject.
Sure. Go ahead, Chicano.
All right, man. So, I'm not done talking about this YouTube hype job. This guy who continues to be an undercard A-sider, prospect of the year for the last 10 years. I have a serious question for you guys, okay? I'm starting to think that, if you're looking at a resume, like I said before, when Canelo beats Jamal Charlo, I don't know how much it's going to mean on the resume, especially if Jamal Charlo goes on to take consecutive losses. What I wanted to ask you guys was, where would a win for Canelo against Jamal Charlo, where would that rank as far as like his best wins? Because if you ask me, I already think that the Jacobs win is better than the Charlo win. So I wanted to kind of ask you guys, like, well, to me, I would have to say that I think that the Lara fight, the Trout fight, the Triple G second fight, they're better. And Jacobs' fight is better. And I also would argue that the Kovalev win is better. So, I mean, he doesn't even make the top 5. And everybody's trying to act like he's been this boogeyman. You guys got to give me a break. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts on it.
Well, if he, like, let's say he fights like Jacobs and knocks Jacobs out, then now we're talking. You know what I mean? Then now, like, that win would mean better. Like, I think if he gets another big win, it would be up there for sure. But, hey, like, perception is everything. So I don't know if you're asking me what the perception of the public will be or what reality will be. I'm not sure what you're asking me, but what I will say, I do believe that the perception will be that will be one of his biggest wins for sure. Like top 3, I would say. Reality, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to sit down and think about it. I think he's saying
reality.
Yeah, reality. As far as like looking at a resume, looking at the opponent, versus like how good he was in the opposition that he faced and all that.
I think when it happens, people will consider it one of his biggest, like top 3. How it grows, though, will depend. You know what I mean?
Because I've already seen I've already seen some guys who have been big Charlo supporters and have been pushing the narrative that he's been ducking. They're already saying now I believe he's for real and shit like that. Like, so yeah, the perception is good. They're gonna rank it as a really good win, but I think you make a great point, Chicano. I mean, Trout, Lara, Cotto, Jacobs, Triple G. I mean, I don't know if he's. I don't know if it's better than any of those. Go ahead, bro.
Look, man, I believe in balance, right? And it's kind of a little off topic. I apologize, but still on Canelo, I believe in balance. And if we're honest, man, there's not enough people on YouTube that keep it fair with Canelo. To be honest with you, this dude gets called all types of names in the book, yet he has one of the best resumes of active fighters. Okay, and look, I saw Black and Brown say, "Hey, he needs to do great things." I agree with you. Okay, I'm if I don't think an opponent's good, I will say it. If he doesn't do a move I agree with, I say it. However, it's not that balanced, man. This guy, I'm not even joking. He gets called a piece of shit. Okay, he gets called a ducker for life.
Cherry picker. He's bad for
cherry
boxing.
Picker. He's grossly overrated. He's never beat anybody, and he only fights old men, and just all this other shit that we just don't apply. He didn't beat a 42-year-old man for his belt. You know what I mean? For any of his belts, to be honest with you. But we want to call Cotto old? Cotto was way better than K9. Come on. Right? So, I get a lot of the criticisms Canelo gets, but my God, is it overboard sometimes, in my opinion. Okay? So, I just want to put that out there. I think a lot of guys, and I don't know if the Canelo cartel would agree with this, but a lot of people take real liberties attacking Canelo because there really isn't a big backlash when you attack a guy like Canelo. And no one sit down and says, man, if I said something about Canelo, a whole group of Canelo fans are going to come after me. They really don't. Not lately. So.
Right. That's why I militarized myself, man.
I love it, man. And look, guys, before we move on to the next topic, I want to say this. You guys better be prepared, man. You better be prepared because the Canelo cartel is here and they're ready to roll, baby. They're ready to roll, baby.
Sorry, man, you got me going. I'm like, I know you want to change this. I just got one last thing to say, man. Please excuse me. Okay, thanks, G-Funk. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
All right, so, one of these other things that I heard, too, is, there's this idea that, Charlo was the guy to see. He's never been the guy to see. He's still undercarding it. So he's not there with the money either. He's just a YouTube hype job, and he's going to get exposed. All right?
Damn.
When you look in the past, you can look at Jamal Charlo. He's never been ranked number 1 at 154. Never been ranked number 1 at 160. If he waits at 160, maybe he could just inherit it like he inherits everything else. It's possible, but I'm not here advising him. I'm sure his handlers will tell him what to do, like they always do. He's never achieved greatness. Back in the day when he was ranked number 2 at 154, Lara was ranked number 1. This was when Canelo was dancing around at 155. And they asked both of them, hey, what do you guys think about fighting each other? Because they both had the same trainer with Ronnie Shields. One of them said, I'm this champion of the division. These things happen in boxing, so if it comes to it, I'll fight him. This is my division. And then the other guy, as cool as possible, mind you, but he's like, oh, I'm not ready for that. Hey, we're friends at that. I'll let you decide who said what.
You guys better be ready, man. You guys better be ready. That's all I'm going to say.
Chicano, what about the little...
You're breaking up, bro. I didn't hear
what about
the
that
what?
little part where they're like, hey, pass the torch. Why won't...
Oh, yeah, pass the torch to a guy who's older than you.
Yo, you know what's going on with Nopal right now? The dude's in Sinaloa, bro. He's in Sinaloa with the real cartels, and he's having that's why he's having trouble with the Wi-Fi. Watch out. He's in Sinaloa, bro.
He just might be, man. Hopefully you're staying safe, man. COVID.
I'm in that. What do they call? What do they call?
I think he's got a little bit of lag, so we'll go ahead and just close it out.
Nopal leaves, and we're in the try.
We got you, man. We got you. So here's a situation that happened. We had a couple of fighters come out recently and test positive for coronavirus. Unfortunately, Alexander Povetkin is one, and another one with a fight with a lot at stake here on HCP. Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt. Berchelt tests positive for COVID-19. Now, I know he went out there on purpose and was mingling with people to get out of the fight. No, I'm just kidding. I got to throw some shots at my boy D-Style because him and I have been going back and forth on this one. But no, in all seriousness, I hope nothing but the best for both of these guys. Hopefully they get better and, they can come out, and we can get both of these fights to happen. And I hope that they just, come out of it just in one piece,
Look, man, it's obvious that Valdez sent a hit on Berchelt, you know what I mean? And got him infected. Okay, so that's what happened.
But we had another fighter, another one of the young up-and-coming fighters at 130 pounds. Shakur Stevenson comes out and says, hey, look, I'm willing to take that date, that December 12th date that Berchelt was scheduled for. He wants to fight Valdez. What do you guys think of that fight, man?
I love the call out. You know what I mean? This is what more fighters need to start doing, I think, is he serious? There's only one way to find out if Valdez is okay, But I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be serious, I mean, he did some easy work a couple of months ago. He's ready to go back in there. It'll be great to see Valdez. I mean, that would be a great fight. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest with you. Valdez doesn't want that smoke, bro. He ain't gonna fight Stevenson. It ain't gonna happen.
I'll let these guys go before I give my opinion. Chicano, what do you think, man? Possibility of Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, December 12th, man.
I agree with D-Style. I think it's great that they can use social media. I think the fight makes a lot of sense as well. This might be a good time for Valdez to take the fight too. I mean, Shakur Stevens is very young, so I mean, I don't know if he's going to continue to get better, but if Shakur Stevens is looking to crack that top 10, I think it's a fight worth taking. I think it would do good numbers as well. I think it's a high-profile fight for both of them. So I think that you should consider getting it on. And I do think Shakur needs to get in the ring immediately. Back in the day before last year, Shakur was fighting 4 times a year. He's very young. He needs to get into it. And if this is the takeover and the new generation is coming up, he needs to start being loud and making those big fights right away. We've already seen what 22 and 23-year-olds can do. So I say let's get them in the ring. I like this fight a lot. I hope it happens.
That's right,
Okay.
A-Rod. That's exactly what happened.
Suge Knight move. Ooh, that's a little below the belt.
By the way,
man.
props to Valdez if he accepts, and props to Stevenson for calling him out. Props to both of them, and they make that fight happen. You know what I mean? I just want to say that.
Right.
For sure.
No, Paul, what is your opinion on this fight, bro? Or possibility?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Well, I absolutely love this fight, but you guys know that I'm the guy that's always looking at the politics side of boxing. And one thing about Shakur Stevenson is he's known. I think in his last fight he made like $1 million already, and he's barely starting his career. So I can see how Valdez. It might not be that he doesn't want to fight him. It might be that he might be thinking, well, how the hell am I? How am I going to fight a guy with such a pay difference disparity? You know what I mean? Like a pay difference. The guy's going to make $1 million. They're going to try to give me like $400K on top of that. When I say no, I want a better payday. I mean, they're going to try to say that I ducked the fight. I mean, that's another thing that we got to think about before, people that start saying that this fighter ducked this fighter. I mean, it's not always like that, That's basically what I want to say about that fight. I mean, I love the fight, but, realistically, sometimes it's a little bit more about just getting in there and fighting.
Yeah, that's wow. I didn't even think about that because I mean, I'm the guy. I don't even pay attention to what guys make because I don't really care. But wow, that's interesting to hear that he made $1 million last fight for some guy. I don't even know who this guy was that he fought last time I seen Shakur fight. So I mean, could that come into play? Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. It's investment money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I love the fight too. I love it. Both guys are looks like Shakur says he could start training camp right now. I mean, he's got like a little over a month. I mean, here's the thing, man. If Valdez comes out and says, okay, let's get this thing on, right? December 12th. I'm not stepping off the date. He's already been training. He's been looking good. I've been seeing a lot of videos of him training, looking real nice. Okay. He was ready to piece up for Shelt. Okay. But the guy got sick. Okay. But,
right.
I don't want to hear no excuses from anybody on the other side, man. If I don't want to hear all the excuses about, he didn't have enough time and this and that. I mean, look, he said it himself. He can do it. Okay. So if the fight happens and he doesn't look the same, I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, well, he didn't have enough time to train. That's his fault. He said, I'll step in that date. It's out there. He put it out there on social media. That's what I'm going to say about that. As far as the fight goes, I think it's a great fight, and I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it, and I don't think Burchell's scared. I mean, Valdez is scared, man. I don't believe that. I think he'll take that fight if everything works out. I think he'll take it, and I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. A hell of a fight, and I will be definitely looking forward to that one. Anything else you guys want to add on this? Because I mean, it's not an official fight. So we're not going to like break it down or anything like that. It's got to be official for HCP to talk about breaking shit down. Okay. Cause it could all fall apart, but anything else you guys want to add about, this
at the end of the day, man, I mean, look, I think Stevenson's ready. He's already been a champion at 126. He's already talked about being at 130. So he's ready. And not only that, he's wanted Burchell. You know what I mean? So we do got to give him credit, man, for wanting to fight the big names and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? And he saw an opportunity here, and I give him full credit. I will be like, I think it's a good fight too. I really do. And but I'm not gonna break it down or tell you who's gonna win unless it's signed. I agree with that. So that's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing for him to say, you know what, hey, I'll step right in, no problem. We'll see. We'll see if Valdez says put your money where your mouth is, and he takes the fight. I'll give him a lot of credit, man, for taking it on short notice. And like I said, I don't hear no excuses. Okay,
Yeah.
no excuses at all.
Look,
So
there's always a possibility. I don't know the full details of everything yet, but man, there's a possibility like Top Rank is just gonna postpone this specific fight. You know what I mean? Like
right,
they've been working on it, so who knows what's gonna happen?
yeah, they've been really putting a lot in. Excuse me, a lot into this fight. Both guys top rank, so it's two Mexican champions in the same division. I mean, that's going to be good business. Especially now that it's postponed and we don't know when if they're gonna reschedule it or what. It's still really early, but if we can get it into next year to where we can get over this pandemic, who knows? Maybe they could get some fans in there, man, and I think it'll do good numbers. I think they'll be able to draw some good people in, and but it's still very early, man. So the last one, and I promised New York Mexican that we'll touch on this. He
And
mentioned,
why Mex? How's it going?
yeah, if hopefully he's still here, man. If not, you could always come back and watch this. But let's address his comment about how Margarito and his hand wraps with the Cotto fight, because we said it's impossible for people to sneak things in with the commission and with a representative from the other team watching the hands get wrapped. So he said, well, what about this? So I know D Styles got a lot of information on that, so I'll let him cook on that, man.
All right, so first of all, there is a difference between an issue with the wraps and an issue with the gloves, right? That alone demolishes like that alone. Like, you know what I mean? But let me take it a step further, and I just want to touch on this. So Kenny Bayless was the referee of that second fight with Wilder Fury, and he was also the referee for the first Margarito Cotto fight. Okay. So the reason I'm bringing that up, because you might be wondering, well, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Okay. Because young Pharaoh, his word was being taken as gospel. Okay. And he submitted, and I'm not joking when I say this, as evidence, he submitted as evidence, right, that clearly there was something wrong with the second fight because Kenny Bayless was also the referee of the Cotto Margarito fight. Okay. That is unbelievable because Kenny Bayless has refereed hundreds of world title fights and hundreds more that were non-title fights and was involved in these critical controversies for every single fight. Okay. Furthermore, the referee does not sit there and inspect when you're wrapping your hands. So how would he know if Margarito even had anything in there anyway? Okay. He doesn't inspect the gloves outside of checking them at the start of the fight. He does, and that's another thing, by the way. Okay. They also get to touch gloves. We got to look back at the footage. I just thought about this, G-Funky, but just write it down somewhere. We got to look at when they touch gloves because wouldn't Wilder ever notice that there was no padding whatsoever when they touch gloves? Okay.
I would think so.
So that's number one. That's just something I just thought about. But furthermore, in the Antonio Margarito situation, and a lot of people don't want to hear this, all right? But there is suspicion that he did some, but we really don't know if he did something. Okay.
Yes, that's the one thing.
We really don't.
Yeah, not to cut you off, man, but that's what I was going to say if you didn't touch on it. We just have suspicion. Miguel Cotto just has suspicion.
Right.
Doesn't have any proof that he had plaster of Paris that night when they fought the first time.
Now, here's the thing. So, number one, there was nothing wrong with the gloves, so it's a totally different situation, okay? But let me say this. So, here's what happened in the Mosley fight, and a lot of people seem to kind of make and mold the story however they wish to make it. You know, one, it is important to note that Nassim Richardson was a great trainer, and I respected him a lot. Did play psychological games and admitted to doing so by having guys rewrap their hands. That's number
Yes.
one. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. But now that doesn't mean everything, but it's something to keep in mind. He said, okay, and this is the story everyone kind of runs with. He said that the hands were wrapped, right? Now I want you everybody to follow me here. And what did he do? He watched the wraps the same way Jay Diaz did. Okay? He watched them put on the gloves after the controversy too, just like Jay Diaz did. So the reason they allow the other corner to inspect the gloves, you see a Victor Ortiz sit down, he's almost fully wrapped. Leonard Allerby finally shows up and says, no, you got to take that off. And I don't know if there's anything up with that. And they made him just unwrap everything and start all over again. You could do that. Okay? If you're not present, you could demand that they restart the wrapping because you were not there in their presence. So that's that again, I'm emphasizing that for a reason. Jay Diaz was there. Jay Diaz could have checked the wraps. Jay Diaz could have checked the gloves. He could have patted on them. He could have done the responsible thing and checked on it just like Nassim Richardson did. Well, that's it. Nassim Richardson said that a block fell off. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then he changed the story several times, though. He didn't maintain the same story every single time. Okay, now this according to Dave Duenas, who was there present. He did not show up to court. All right. Okay, so that's very important to note. Right, that evidence that he was changing his story and he did not show up to court when the time came. All right. With all that said, all right, the process worked in that fight regardless. Okay, even if you believe Margarito had anything, why? Because they allowed the trainer to do what Diaz was able to do, which was to go ahead and check the wraps, go ahead and check the gloves, that whole nine. Okay, so that's it's important to understand that. All right. Now in the Cotto fight, Cotto's corner got to do the same thing. Right. Like and I get that completely. All right. People like to say the following. Well, he beat him in the rematch, right? Cotto did. Therefore, that is proof. Well, a couple of problems, right? Margarito had a fucked up eye for that fight. And Cotto targeted that eye, so Margarito was nowhere near the same fighter. He had been knocked out by Mosley. He had taken a beating by Manny Pacquiao. He wasn't the same fighter anymore. You know, that it was in 2007, whenever it is that fight happened, 2008. He wasn't the same fight in 2011, 2012. It wasn't the same guy. You know, his eye was all messed up. So we need to take that into consideration, into account. All right. So it's not proof that, oh, look at Cotto, he was all battered up. In my opinion, Cotto was known for having poor stamina, was getting hit to the body a lot. Cotto was getting hit a lot to the head and the body in that fight. He ran out of gas and was getting hit repeatedly. You know what I mean? That's why his face swelled up. Cotto was known for his face swelling up before that. Somebody punched him in the lip. Like he dominated Alfonso Gomez, and he still had a big busted lip. Off of a couple jabs, Gomez landed. You know? So he was known for swelling up. Now, I'm not saying that nothing happened that night. It's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But they're not saying at all. Like here's the difference. We checked the wraps of Fury. He took his gloves off. He went up to Wilder, put his hands on Wilder's face. He rubbed the side of Wilder's face to wipe off the glove off of him. So we know there was nothing wrong with the wraps. You know? Like it's definitely not a same situation. Like even if you look at Margarito's wraps and say, hey, why is it a little crack there? What's going on with that? We saw the wraps of Fury. Right? And I'll end it with this. The argument that, well, hey, anything could happen, man. You could still sneak it in and this and that. Well, you could apply that to any fight. So did we showed you the picture of Charlo, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the gloves. Did he sneak something in? Did he do something? This is why we have commissions checking in. This is why the opposing corner gets to check the shit as well. Okay. Finally, let me say this. You can't come out months later, okay, when there's no way to look over it and claim this. And I don't know if this is becoming a trend, okay? But there was a women's fight that was out on Twitter, okay? Sulem Urbina shared it. A female fighter, La Barbie, I think they call her, okay? Immediately after a fight, accused the female fighter of cheating, right? She said, I've been boxing for 20 years. I never been hit like that. I know you had something in your gloves, right? The girl simply said, okay, hey, my gloves and my wraps, they're over there. Go check them, okay? So you could have checked. He went up to you, shook your hand, okay? Congrats and all that good stuff. So, man, what was the guy that fucked up Collins? Resto.
Luis Resto.
The reason they caught Resto was because the dad felt the gloves with his hands and realized there's no padding in there. That's how he caught him. All right? That's how he caught him. Why would somebody that has something in his wraps go up to Wilder and rub his face off and everything with the blood off and all that and stay in the ring with the wraps still on and sing American Pie and all that bullshit? Okay, other than making my ears bleed. Well, why would he do that? Okay? So, like, all I know, man, is that it's just too late to make all these accusations. It's too late, you know? And I also want to know, where was the egg weight? I still need proof of the egg weight. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And a lot of people don't realize that about the Margarito situation. Nassim Richardson changed his story quite a few times, and he was not showing up to court. We've got primary sources saying that, people that were there saying that.
And I just want to make this clear. When it comes to Cotto Margarito, my answer has always been this: I suspect, but I don't know. You know what I mean? And I still kind of want to have like a longer conversation with Dave about that. You know what I mean? Because he has a lot of information. Him and Gabriel Montoya did a lot of extensive research and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Regarding that specific thing.
Yep.
Okay.
See, that's what we do here on HCP, man. We talk to people that are there. We talk to people that know, and that's the best way to do it, man, in my opinion. But this was great stuff, guys. I'm glad you guys joined me. I'm glad that you guys in the chat were all here. You came to listen to me and my carnales talk some boxing. We talked a lot of good topics here, man. Sonteo Media is here. Hey, man, you're a little bit late to the party, but it's cool, man. You can always go back and watch it if you want. We talked about Wilder, his comments on Glovegate. We talked Canelo versus Charlo next year, and then we talked possibly Valdez versus Shakur. So good show today, guys. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
Let's hear a little more from the Canelo cartel. What's up? You guys got anything more to say?
Hey, man, I'm just going to keep enjoying the rest of this year and just counting down the days. I've always wanted the Charlo fight. To me, it's just never been a big deal, but the satisfaction I'm going to get of how it's going to shut everybody up on YouTube, that's going to be worth it. Otherwise, it's just an okay win for Canelo.
Wow.
I love it, man. I love these guys, man. Nopal.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I actually wanted to say one last thing about the Fury thing. I mean the Wilder thing. What always surprises me the most when I think about the situation is, for a team, you know what I mean? For a fighter that's always, taking so long to take the big fight, you know what I mean? For you would expect them to be these like straight up masterminds on, you know what I mean? on how they're going to handle situations. But all these excuses make it look like their whole team's basically incompetent. For Fury to have been able to get away with so many things. I mean, it just makes it seem like the team's super incompetent. And then it makes you think about the AJ situation, how he supposedly Deontay Wilder's team, they supposedly turned down that fight for so much money. I mean, basically Wilder has admitted that they turned down a bunch of money. He recently just admitted that, telling Fury that he should have just took a AJ fight. You know what I mean? You would expect a little more from Wilder's team than a list of excuses. On how he got the Nets basically by Tyson Fury and his team. That's all I gotta say. Thank you, guys.
No sweat, bro. Thanks for coming on. And my last words are this, man. With Wilder, I'm very disappointed. And you guys know one thing about me. I'm a guy. I am not above correction here. Okay, when I get picks wrong, I come on. I say I was wrong. I don't come on here to make excuses. If Wilder has evidence and he presents the evidence and he brings Tyson Fury to a court, because that's what has to happen here, guys. This is, we're talking about spiked water with a muscle relaxer. We're talking about having weights inside of your glove. Like this is potential manslaughter, guys. You have a guy who's supposedly drugged in the ring, getting hit by a guy who's almost 7 feet tall and almost 300 pounds with egg weights in his gloves. Fury could go to jail, prison for this. Serious things could happen with these accusations. And
why would you wait to put the accusations out there? That's like
exactly. Like this should have been, any suspicion should have been brought up immediately after the fight. And that's what I've been told by people that are involved in these things. Okay?
Right.
That shit has to happen that night, not 8 months later, guys, But I'm going to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. If he has proof, like he says he has proof, then God damn it, I want Tyson Fury out of the sport. If this is real shit, I don't ever want to see him fight again. Now, I know some of you guys have been saying, I just want to see the third fight. Look, man, if he did this, I don't want to see him fight ever again. I don't ever want him to make another penny in the sport of boxing again if he did something like this. That's the way I look at it,
man. It's like this. And it's the final thing I want to say about this. Okay, I keep hearing, no, we have evidence. Okay, what you show me so far is not evidence. So stop sending me videos of ego and what I mean and shit like that. Okay, that Aki dude, that's not evidence. So stop sending me that. Okay. If you don't have evidence, I just don't want to hear about it anymore. And if they're going to release the evidence at any moment, well, then that's telling me you haven't shown it yet, right? If I keep hearing, it's going to come, trust me, the evidence is about to come, then that tells me that what's online right now is not the evidence then. Why you're withholding it? If you're withholding it, don't get mad because I'm not buying any of the bullshit yet, okay? Maybe if you show me the evidence, real evidence, then maybe I'll buy it. Okay, this is a buy or sell world. Okay, life is a yes or no situation. That's it. Simple as that. If this guy's a criminal, then yes, he should be banned from the sport. Then we should take away that W from his record. Okay, let's see it. If I don't get it, then that's that. Okay, that's all I want to say about it. Okay, that is that. Shout out to everybody in the chat, from Brusco's, A-Rod, and Sonteo, 92 Aku. Shout out to all you guys, and shout out to everyone who, even if you don't agree with what HCP has to say, you're still down with HCP because you can dish it and take it. That's a real man shit. We ain't here for the vieja shit. That's it.
Right. This ain't no fucking novellas here, man. All right. We keep the shit real over here. All right. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I want to thank all my guests here that joined me on the panel and everybody that joined us watching live. And of course, those of you who catch this after it's live, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. So I'm G-Funk Boxing. For all the guys here on the panel, we are out. Peace.